Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is Toybox, and today I wanted to go over furry convention do's and don'ts. And this doesn't just apply to furry conventions, this is also like other conventions like Comic-Cons or anime conventions, anything like that. Just conventions as a whole. This applies to all conventions. But I'm gonna focus specifically on furry conventions because, I mean, you know, they're cool, I guess. Now, I have never been to a furry convention in my life. I have not been to a single convention in Fursuit at all, actually. But I think that I can make this video and go over the basic common knowledge of do's and don'ts. I think I got this. I think I can handle this video. But without further ado, let's go. So, let's say you're at a convention and you see someone in a very colorful fursuit. Maybe they're a purple fox with a red and blue paw, or they're this guy. Let's just say you see these people, or you just see anyone in fursuit that you like, and you want to go up to them. You want to just, oh, I love them, I love this person, hey, notice me, hey, come on, I want to give you a hug. Don't just run up to them, and especially don't like scream and run up to them, because that's really gonna set people off. I mean, could you imagine someone like me running up to you screaming and just give me a hug? People wouldn't like that very much. I don't think they would, I don't think they'd appreciate that very much. So, if you want to talk to someone, if you want to introduce yourself, then walk up to them politely. And if you want to take a picture with them, or if you want a hug, ask them first, because not everyone is okay with their picture being taken or being hugged without consent. That is a huge thing that goes for, again, any convention, or even just out of conventions, is that people don't like being touched without consent. I was at a Pride festival back in June, and I was watching a drag show, and this random woman came up to me, and mind you, I am in fursuit, not that it matters, but this random woman came up to me and just started like putting her arm around me and was like pulling me close to her, and she didn't even say what her name was. I didn't know who she was, but this random woman just came up to me and was like touching me without my consent, which I didn't like very much. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I was in such shock. So if you want to go and hug someone or touch someone, ask them first if they're okay with it. Don't just go for it. Just because not everyone's going to be okay with that. Another thing is, please make sure you have good hygiene, okay? Hygiene is very, very important, not only for yourself, but for others as well. You don't want to be that one guy that's stinking up the entire convention and no one wants to be around you because you're just so stanky. Like, no one wants to stinky, okay? We don't want stinky. Stinky equal bad. We don't want the stink. Make sure you have good hygiene. That's using deodorant, showering, brushing your teeth, and not just like once a week. Like, do these things every day. Shower, brush your teeth, use deodorant if you need to. Just do basic hygiene. It'll really make people want to interact with you more and make you a bit more likable. Especially going back to the touching without consent. If you have been eating food and you suddenly see someone that you like in fursuit, do not run up to them with your dirty, greasy hands and touch them. Or even if you ask to touch them, make sure that your hands are clean before touching them. Fursuits are, 1, very expensive, and 2, not super easy to clean. It is a very tedious process, and fursuiters will not be happy if you get their fursuit dirty and then they have to clean it. They will not be happy at all. So just please make sure that If you're eating and you see someone you like, before you go touch them, before you interact with them, make sure your hands are clean. This is after you're eating, coming out of the bathroom. If you're coming out of the bathroom, then oh my gosh, please wash your hands. It doesn't matter what you were doing in there. Please just wash your hands. Another thing is to try not to block fire exits. It's kind of a difficult thing for some people because you don't know where you are when you're talking to someone or when you're interacting with someone or just where you're standing really. You're not fully aware of your surroundings. So you might be standing in front of a fire exit or maybe some stairs like an escalator or something. But I advise you to please try not to stand in front of fire exits or stairways or anything that could be in people's way in case of an emergency. Just please try and be aware of that because if there is an emergency, people will probably shove past you. And if they don't have the patience for you to move. It's an emergency, get out as fast as possible. Something else to know is don't jump in someone else's conversation. So you're walking around, you see different vendors and you see people talking and first you hear them talking about a subject that you like. Don't just jump in and say, oh yeah, I know about this subject. Dude, that's cool. Oh, great, you love that. Because that's kind of, it makes the whole thing awkward when some random person just jumps into the conversation like that. It makes people feel very awkward and it's going to distance yourself from them a lot. So if you hear someone talking about something that you like, maybe try introducing yourself first and then try talking about that. Like, oh, my name is blank. I love your suit. By the way, I heard you talking about this. I couldn't help but hear you were talking about this. I'm also interested in that. And then try a conversation that way. Don't just jump in like, oh, I know this subject. I love this subject. Oh my gosh. Like, no. Just don't do that. It's very awkward. People will not want to be around you. Very, very important rule, I feel, and just don't wear someone else's fursuit head or fursuit at all. Don't wear any part of their fursuit unless they say that they are okay with you doing so. Don't do it, like, just to be fun or silly, especially if it's someone that you don't know or don't know that well. Don't just go around putting on their fursuit and like, haha, it's so funny, haha, I'm dressed up as you now. Because people aren't really okay, especially with strangers, putting on their fursuit because they don't know where that person has been, what that person's intentions with their fursuit are. So just don't do it, even if it's something as harmless as you do it and you take a few pictures with that person's fursuit hat on. Don't do it. It's very uncomfortable to walk into a room and see somebody else wearing your fursuit that you didn't give permission to wear your suit. For me, when I let people wear my suit, I give them permission. They ask, oh, can I wear your suit? And I say yes or no. And if I say no, I hope that they respect that. If they don't, then I am not going to talk to that person any longer. I'm not going to let them around my fursuit any longer. So if you want to wear someone else's fursuit, ask ahead of time. There's a very big theme of consent in this, and that's for a reason, because a lot of people don't follow these consent rules. They don't ask. They just don't ask people, like, hey, can I do this or that? They just go and do it, which is not okay. Don't tail tug either. Tail tugging is... I've heard that people don't really enjoy that. Just don't tail tug because that could, if they, like, let's say it's like a strap thing. They have a strap around their waist and you tugging on the tail. That could potentially break, or what could happen is maybe they're walking and you tug their tail and they trip and fall. That's not good either. That's not funny. It's not fun at all. Don't tug people's tails, and that really falls into the touching without consent. Just don't do it. If you're with a kid and you see that your kid is tugging on people's tails, don't just ignore it or just, oh, they're a kid, they're gonna do it. Oh my god, they're just a kid. Like, no, go and do something about it. Tell your kid off, drag them away from the people, keep them close to you so that way they don't do that again. I think this is just a given do, but make sure that you pack in advance for a furry convention. Don't pack last minute, pack like everything you'll need. A change of clothes, your fursuit, if you have one, or if you're bringing one. Make sure to bring like personal hygiene like deodorant, maybe shampoo, conditioner, hairbrush, all that sort of stuff. Make sure you bring that as well. It's really gonna help you out there a lot with the furry convention. So just make sure you bring those things. Make sure you bring, again, a few spare changes of clothes. You're gonna be there for quite a few days, so just make sure that you have these. Oh, and if it's gonna be hot, which I'm sure it will because these things are hot as hell, make sure you bring a fan as well. That'll really help you out. Oh yeah, let's say someone's in like the break room, or they're in a room, or they're just somewhere and they take their fursuit head off. It's getting too hot in there, they're taking a break, so they take their fursuit head off. Don't just take a picture of that person, even if it's like a popular furry and it's like, oh, face reveal. Don't do it. People have these on when they do videos for a reason. They haven't revealed their face for a reason. And that's their own personal choice. That's not a choice, it's up to you. So don't take pictures of someone when they have their fursuit head off. And then especially don't post that. People are not okay with their image being taken without their consent. And that goes for a lot of people. If you're going to take a picture of someone, at least ask. If they say no, respect that and don't take the damn picture. Don't boop without consent either. Again, this whole theme of consent. If you want to boop someone, don't just go up and just go, haha, I booped you. I booped you. Yeah, I did. Like, no. Stop it. Go get your pumpkin spice latte and stop it. What you do is you ask, is it okay if I boop you? And if they say no, respect that. It's not that hard to respect. Respect it. Don't boop them. Leave them alone. Sure, you might be a little sad, oh, I didn't get to boop my favorite fursuiter. But that's not the end of the world, because you couldn't boop them. There's other things that are on your bucket list, I'm sure, when you're at a furry convention, so try and fulfill those things instead. I think this next one's a given. I don't even think that he's allowed at furry conventions anymore. If he is, then color me fucking shocked, really? But if you see, this guy, good old fursuit samples, Jesus, carpet samples at any furry conventions, stay away from them. Stay far away from them. They are not a good person, okay? They are a really horrible person, and I don't see why you'd want to go up to someone who looks like this. I mean, honestly, what is wrong with you if you do? At that point, it's just natural selection. That's it. So, I think that's all I need to cover for this video. I can't think of anything else that I could see as a do or don't. So, with that said, I hope that you all follow these damn rules and be respectful, and have a good morning, good afternoon, and a good evening.